Okay, so here's our breadboard layout for the transmitter. So the first pin is ground, the second pin is positive going all the way up, and we have to short the enable and the VCC together. So enable and VCC both goes to the positive, and then we have our receiving wire here that goes into the PICX C.4 pin, and we're not using the TX, we're not using set, but for the aux or auxiliary, what I've figured out is if you put an LED between the RX and the auxiliary pin, you can actually see the blinking of the LED that indicates that data is being transmitted. So what I've done is I've got the positive leg of the LED in line with the receiver, and the negative will go to the auxiliary. Right, so if I flip this over, so this basically goes into here. Okay, so that's our LED. So now you can see it's blinking. If I haven't programmed anything yet on it, but all I'm doing is just using my joystick, and you can see that the light is blinking, showing that some sort of data is being transmitted. Alright, and likewise I've done a similar circuit here. This time again, negative going down, VCC and enable pin shorted to positive. We are using the TX pin on this. Okay, so this should be one step this side, and the LED should be here. Okay, alright, here we go. So we leave one row of gap, and then that's where my yellow wire goes back into C.0. At the moment, a problem I had was this was the green wire that I used on the OEM, and if it's floating, then my servos are running continuously because it's picking up all ADC values, right? So voltages in the air. So the simplest thing I could do was to ground it, and it keeps it at 0 level. Alright, so my transmitter plugged in here. Trying to hold my phone camera and do this as well, so sorry about any video movement. Okay, did I get this right? No. Shift by 1, and I had it right in the last time. Okay, here we go. Let's still leave that row of gap that's down there. So this red wire is in fact, I'll move it. You can now actually see. So that's our ground, that's our VCC, enable, nothing connected to that row, and then our transmitting wire sits there, and then the LED sits here, positive leg and negative leg or cathode onto the auxiliary pin. Alright, so Dorji has given us a little modem, a USB dongle to configure each of these transmitters. It looks like this. It's pretty straightforward. You plug this in. On their website there is a software to configure. That's the little software to configure the 433 megahertz radio modem. You can change the baud rates. This is the power level, how strong you want the signal to be. 9 is the max. I normally leave this section as it is and just configure the baud rates at which I want both the transmitters and the receiver to be talking. Right, so I'll go ahead and run this on my computer. It's hopefully connected, and okay, so here we go. The module just plugs in for configuration. By all means, you must consult the Dorji datasheet. It's part of your requirement. So its default state, it comes into a 9600 baud rate. I'm going to use 4800. This BPS means bytes per second or bits per second, and then it's found the device and simply we'll just go right, and it's done right successful. So that's one of the modules configured, and I'll get the other one out. Let's found the device, and we'll leave everything as the same, and then we'll write it onto this, and that's successful. Alright, so both my modules are now in. My code is still the same as before. So what's happening here? Okay, 49 to receiver. Alright, so that's the same code, and haven't changed anything from the previous time that I showed you this code. Receiver and transmitter. Alright, so let's see if this works. You can see the green light blinking, sending something, but none of my servers are working. So to troubleshoot, we go into our receiver circuit and see what is it receiving. So if we press F8, and now if I move my joystick to the left, oh, I get 64, to the right 96, up 122, and down 32. So right, so our values have changed slightly, so let's write this down now. Alright, so I normally do this that helps me do all my calibration. So let's go up. Up I'm getting 1 1 2. Down I'm getting 32. Left 64 and right 96. That means I have to go back into my code and do a few changes. So here we go, move left. So left was 64, move right was 96.